Good morning. It's great to have you with us. My friends, you're in for a fun day. We're going to take a journey into the spiritual heart. And we have with us some of the music that's going to be a part of our Jazz on the Lawn. And so we are going to have energy and fun. And in the midst of it, I invite you to reach deep within your heart and touch the amazing spiritual being that you are. Thank you for being with us.
Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. Sorry about the boom. Please join us in singing, I'm going to lay down my burden. Lay down my burden, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden, down by the riverside, and study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war no more. Study war no more. Study war no more. Down my burden, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Wanna lay down my burden, down by the riverside, and study war no more. I ain't gonna study, I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna put on my long white robe, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my long white robe, down by the riverside, and study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna hold hands all over the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna hold hands with my neighbors, down by the riverside, and study war no more. I ain't gonna study, I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study, I'm not gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Please join us in the next song, This Little Light of Mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna
Wow. The St. Gabriel's Celestial Brass Band. You can take a load off your feet for a moment, fellas. And our phenomenal song leader, Jabari Anderson. Let's hear it for Jabari. Good morning. My name is Sheila Gautreaux. I'm one of your ministers here, and I want to welcome you to our service and to bring you greetings from Cabo San Lucas. Join me in welcoming our friends who are watching online and having a lot of fun with us this morning. Let's turn to the cameras and let's wave and say good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Jazz Sunday. We've got a phenomenal service and great music, so sit back, prop up your feet, and get ready for some fun. If you are new to Unity, I want to offer a very special welcome to you and welcome you to this positive path for spiritual living. Well, that's who we are at Unity. We are a pathway to the divine within each of us and the recognition that we are all one in spirit. And we are brothers and sisters eternally linked. We honor all paths to God and recognize that there are many. And all paths lead to that one power and that one presence. And we have been praying in Unity for over 125 years with everyone around the world 24 hours a day. That is the foundation of Unity. Let us have an experience of the power of affirmative prayer, which is our mode of prayer. As we go within and we settle ourselves down, and take a deep breath, exhale through the heart, and join me in our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let's take that in. Breathe it in deeply through our hearts. Let's permeate every fiber of our being. And again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Breathe it in through the heart even more deeply. And once more, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And as we breathe it in and breathe out through the heart, we know this to be the truth. We accept it for ourselves and for our world. We hold in our hearts the policemen who were injured and killed this morning. And we know that we are connected in every way. And so it is. And together we say, Amen. Please remain seated and join the band and Jabari in singing Amazing Grace.
the sound that saved a wretched soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Oh, take that deep breath through your heart. What a delight it is to touch back into this music that is so deep in our culture and so rich in people's spiritual journey, and know that it is the entryway into our experience of prayer together. So again, taking that deep breath through your heart, and we'll take and have a blessing from our heart ministers. There you are.
Prayer for the people of France. Dear God, we open our hearts and hold the place of peace, faith, and love for the citizens of Nice and the entire country of France as they heal from and grieve the tragedy in Nice. We hold fast to peace in spite of the violence. We hold the space of love in spite of the act of hatred. We hold fast to the power of faith in the ultimate end to tragedies of this type. And we hold in our hearts compassion and forgiveness for those whose actions caused harm to the people of Nice and for all people everywhere whose hatred and bigotry caused them to harm others. May we all join together in prayer for the healing of the world. And so it is.
So taking that deep breath through the heart, turning within as we make that connection with this divine presence that lives and moves and flows through our beings. And I invite you to simply let this simple chant be part of the invitation to the center of your heart. I am one with the infinite presence, the power and love of God. As we open to know this more deeply, as we open to feel the love, the presence of this divine, infinite love flowing in and through our beings. As we look at the world and at our lives, we open to a greater truth, that God is everywhere and everything. In every moment, God is present, and that God is love. There is only love. In the presence of that awareness, all that is unlike that love fades away. for a greater truth is here. There is only love. There is only God. That divine goodness and love fill my life now. They fill my body now with wholeness. They fill my relationships with harmony. They fill my world with peace. There is only God. There is only love. Knowing that greater truth, we now enter that simple place of stillness where we rest in silence at one with the one. So journey gently through that stillness of mind. As we follow those words of the Master, peace, be still. Peace, be still. Mother, Father, God, infinite love, beloved presence, gratefully we choose to radiate this divine presence that you are flowing in and through our beings, that we experience as the feelings of love. And so we radiate that love because the touch of your love heals, uplifts, guides. And so as we radiate that love, we send it to our own bodies to awaken into complete wholeness every cell and system. We send it to mind and heart for wisdom and understanding. We radiate this love to each one who is dear to us, enfolding them all in this holy, healing presence of divine power. You are whole and well, lifted and blessed. This divine love flows through our hearts as we send it to all who are a part of this spiritual community, touching, blessing, healing. We enfold every prayer request brought here and know with each you are enfolded in divine love and lifted to that which is the highest. This love flows forth from our hearts as gentle waves of blessing across the communities in which we live, across our nation, and on to bless with peace the peoples of the world. We're grateful for all who join us in prayer this day, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillside. For in seeking to know you, we are all one. we radiate this love from our hearts, sending it to touch this beautiful earth on which we live, bringing balance to all her systems, rain where it is dry, calm where there is storm, blessing to her creatures. And now we send this love from our hearts, and we send it about the earth that it might touch the heart of every single person in the earth. For beloved presence, you are that love in every heart. And in this love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And it is so, here, now, in the presence of that divine presence in each heart. Amen.
My name is Jennifer Hooker, and it's my pleasure to highlight a few of the many upcoming events here at Unity of Walnut Creek. There are many exciting ways to enjoy your summer at Unity of Walnut Creek. Our spiritual learning classes have begun, and there are 3 inspiring and informative classes for 4 weeks, and drop-ins are always welcome. You're also invited to the 5th annual Jazz on the Lawn Mardi Gras on the last Saturday of this month. And today's music is just a taste of the music of the St. Gabriel's Celestial Brass Band. You won't want to miss this fabulous event, and tickets will be available in the book center or online. And now I'd like to invite David and Louise DeLue up to the platform.
Thank you. Whoops, can I lower this? No. Okay.
But I could take care of it.
Okay.
In your bulletin today, there's a handout that says, "Come join our volunteers."
Please fill it out and bring them to me today at the table outside.
So, Louise, why should I fill out this form?
Well, as volunteer coordinator, I need to know what everybody's interests are so I can match you up with opportunities.
Is it a long form?
Nah, it's really easy. Just go through it and scan the items that you're interested in.
But I already volunteered. Do you still want me to fill out the form?
Yes, please. I want to get to know you better. I heard the presenters team needs volunteers, David. Why did you join that team?
Well, on the presenters team, we find the great speakers and workshops for our congregation, and then we get to take care of them when they're here.
Nice. So what else are you interested in?
Well, audiovisual technology, but I'd need to learn so much more before I could help out.
Well, check that box, David, and we'll teach you.
Wow. Okay, I'll do it. So everyone, please fill out the form and drop it off with Louise out at the patio today.
Thank you.
And to find out more about these and other wonderful activities, please consult your bulletin and/or our website. And until you hear the gong, please enjoy taking a short moment to greet the people immediately around you.
Immediately around. Hey, good morning. You guys are awesome. I used to play trombone in high school. I used to have the weight on the back, though. I took it off.
Same thing, last two. Oh no, oh, and then six. Sorry. Please stand and join us in singing Win the Saints.
So march it in.
What a journey. Oh, that's fun. All right. So you ready for journeys? So I want to share with you a journey. It's a journey that really has been the major part of my life's journey. And it's been a journey to discover and understand something. And what I found at this point of that journey is what I've discovered is our spiritual hearts. And what I've been seeking in that journey is the understanding of how to make the connection with our spiritual hearts. So I want to share with you a couple experiences that help me get a glimpse into what it is that is this spiritual heart that we have, this spiritual nature that we connect to, the amazing wisdom and power that's there. And so to do that, I want to share with you some experiences. Now, some of these experiences you may have run into in my books or talks. But they're experiences that I keep going back to because every time I go back, I see a little differently and understand a little more. So with today's understanding, which may change tomorrow, there was a point where I experienced my spiritual heart, even though I had no idea what it was. And it was a experience that came out of great emotional turmoil and confusion and difficulty in my life. It was following the experience of my first wife's death, where her life was taken by another person violently. And the great loss and feelings that wanted to come up in me around hatred and anger towards that person. And the experience where I found myself the single parent of a little baby girl, little Lisa, who wasn't yet a year old. A little child who had lost her entire world, which was her mother, and now needed me to step into that world. And what I found when I tried to do that was I was in deep pain, confusion, and turmoil. And what she needed was total presence and love. And the two are inconsistent. So I didn't know what to do. And that led to an experience that can best be described as desperate prayer. Or just asking because I didn't know what else to do. There was nothing in the outer I could ask. And so I turned within and asked. And that led to an experience. Maybe it was 3 weeks later, maybe a month. Little Lisa had her first birthday, and we were playing there in the house. And I got up off the floor where we were playing, and I sat on the couch. And suddenly I was overwhelmed with love. So complete and so ecstatic that it overwhelmed my entire system. I lost all awareness of Lisa, all awareness of the room that I was in, of my own body. All I could feel was this amazing, powerful presence of love. It was something that I can't even begin to describe. And it was a while before my awareness was back in the room and with little Lisa, who was playing quietly on the floor. But what I felt after that was peace. Deep, deep, beautiful peace. And I don't know if this is a fair way to describe oneself, but I had a sense of glowing. And what I noticed in the days that followed that experience was that I didn't need to struggle with the anger and hatred for the one who'd taken my wife's life. I didn't even think about it. Whatever the mechanism that we call forgiveness had simply taken place in that experience. Because when it came to my awareness, there was no resentment. I was free. And I saw him some months later in the state mental institution. And I went there to know. I walked in and looked at him. What would I feel? And I was free. And the pain around Kathy's death. Now, it's not that there was no longer an experience of loss. That was there. But it no longer controlled my being. I could choose to enter into my love and care for that little girl and be there for her completely. And that started a journey to find out what was that. And how do we get to that? Because I don't know about you, but at least most folks I know, there's usually some time every day when we get emotional turmoil going on in our life. Anybody have a little bit of that show up sometimes? Yeah? And, and not knowing what to do and how to handle things and getting... And what I know is, if it can take that away that I had, everyday stuff shouldn't be that hard. How do we do it? And what in the world was that? Now that started many, many years across many spiritual paths of exploring, learning, trying many different things. And there are beautiful ideas and concepts, and it's touched many ways in many different religions. And for the most part, it was great generalities and almost no application. And then I came across something. Because I was in the role that I'd eventually stepped into, the role of serving as spiritual support for people. What I found was this was what we struggled with. You know, when you're in that feeling of emotional turmoil, you don't feel spiritually connected. It's not there. So how do we make that connection? And it was fascinating to me that the answer to that question did not come through religion, though many of the great teachings informed it. It really came through science. It came through what I found when I went to the Institute of Heart Math and looked at their science, because they were talking about an experience where in the state of emotional turmoil or reaction, we had the capacity to transform that and suddenly be at peace. Wow, that was what I was working with. And so I explored their information, and I found out that they were focused on the heart, because the heart was where that happened. Now, what I knew was that, most of the great teachings put spiritual connection at the heart. Some of them use a bigger word called mind, which includes head and heart. But most of them eventually bring you back to the heart. And so I took a look, and what I did when I experienced it was I found I could go from an experience of being upset to an experience of being completely at peace in a minute and a half. Now, I don't know about you, but in my world, that's pretty good. So what happened there? And what I found was that the research showed that there was an access code to the heart. An access code. That if you did that, you got there. If you didn't do that, you probably didn't get there. Now, that access code turned out to be a set of feelings. What I saw when we experienced those feelings was that immediately following that was this flood of spiritual energy that transformed the world we were feeling. And there was peace and feeling good when just before we were upset. To peace in a minute and a half. That works for me. And when I looked at those feelings, there were a number of different ways to get there, and there are a number of different feelings that are part of that. But I realized there was something about them that when we entered into any of those feelings, a part of that experience was a sense that our hearts were full. Now, have you had moments when your heart was full? Think. Can you remember a moment when, wow, my heart was full? You know, I think of being there when my children were born, or wonderful things happened I got to share with, or just moments on mountaintops. You know, beautiful things. And my heart was full. And what I realized was we hold within us memories of those moments. And we can step in and feel that feeling again. And when we do, what happens is we've given the access code. We're connected with the heart. And the science can show us how deeply we're connected. And it shows many amazing things. But the bottom line is, in that connection, this spiritual power and presence within us is released into our being. And in that, our emotions are transformed. And we go from states of confusion to wisdom. Not just figuring things out. Wisdom. There's a difference. So, just to kind of share a little test that I got put through. It was one morning, teenage children, and we lived a fair amount away from the bus route, so everybody getting ready and getting them in the car and getting down the road to the bus. And we had this morning mantra, hurry up or you'll miss the bus. You know, well, if you affirm anything enough. So there's one of these days where you couldn't find this and we couldn't find that, and we were late to hurry up or you'll miss the bus. And we got in the car and got down the road and got to the bus stop, and we'd missed the bus. Now, in that particular place that we lived, you couldn't catch up with the bus. It wasn't that kind of a place. So suddenly I'm looking, and now I'd been on the kids for a while about, you know, getting ready earlier and all this sort of stuff, and I really thought about making them get out and walk. Only it was about 8 miles, and that was probably not a reasonable response. And but I couldn't take them because I'd be late for work. And so we're in one of these impossible situations. And so, have you ever noticed that we usually go to our spiritual things in the impossible situations when we've tried everything else and it doesn't work? That's okay. I assume that's a setup within our system. But anyhow, that's what, it's just like, oh, that's right. I know about how to make this connection. Knowing there's no good answer, no help anyways, I may as well do it. So I made that connection. So I focused on my heart, just touching there and taking that breath to bring my attention to the heart, and then the access code. I remember when my heart was full. And what I remembered was a beautiful experience in Hawaii on a little raft. We were out whale watching, and these things far bigger than our raft turned and swam underneath us, looking down and going, oh my goodness. And then coming up beside us, and there was this kid, whale, that just couldn't contain its energy. So what it did was just keep jumping up in the air and spinning around and going down and then up again. And Mom just stayed very calmly between us and the little whale. But it was having a ball. And to see this beautiful, amazing beings. Wow. And my heart was full. And I'm sitting there on that bus stop. And I could remember that moment when my heart was full. So I could remember, when I remembered it, I could feel it. And when I'd felt it, that was the access code. And suddenly, I looked at everything differently. Instead of everything that was wrong, what the kids had done wrong, I actually felt my concern for them. They were about to go to school. They're teenagers, and going to school as a teenager is a difficult thing, period. Not to mention that they have many demands in their day, and they were completely stressed out from my hurry up or you'll miss the bus and the race down there, and then knowing not only had they missed the bus, but I was real unhappy with them. And what my heart said was, take care of them. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they started the day feeling good? And you don't need to worry about getting to work late. The people you work with are very competent. They go on without you. You make it to work all the time. No big deal. And so I turned to the kids and said, hey, let's start this over again. I'm going to take you to school. Let's just relax and feel good, because I want you to have a wonderful day. And tonight we'll sit down and we'll figure out how to do this better the next time. Okay? And they said, sure. Now look at the state of consciousness after and the state of consciousness before. The level of wisdom before and the level of wisdom afterwards. That is your spiritual nature flowing through your heart. It's there all the time. And it is not difficult to connect with. But wanting to and connecting are two different things. There is an access code. It's the way we're designed. And the access code, you can connect with it by remembering a time when your heart was full. That's not hard. So think of it, a time when your heart was full. Can you think of a time? Remember just that full heart feeling. Feels good, doesn't it? Remember that time when your heart was full. Okay, and just take a hold of that. Kind of stick it in your back pocket. Okay? Because there's a good chance this week that something's going to come up that doesn't feel like that. And there's that emotional turmoil happening and the confusion that goes with that. And you can have peace and clarity in about a minute to a minute and a half. That work? Okay? So I invite you, when that situation comes up, I remember when my heart was full. Okay, just affirm that with me now. I remember when my heart was full. Okay, again, I remember when my heart was full. And you've just had that memory, so you can go right to it, can't you? No matter what's going on. Again, I remember when my heart was full. Breathing that memory, feeling that beautiful moment. With that opening of the heart, then that power of the spiritual being that you are flowing in and through your being, so that you get to show up in life with the wisdom and the presence and the love you really, really are. And it's fun. Bless you.
I ask everyone to please take a connection card from the seat pockets in front of you. And we invite each of you to take a moment to fill out this card. And with this card, you can request prayer support for someone or something in your life. In addition, our heart ministers are available after the service for that wonderful experience of personal prayer support. And they are the ones wearing the lavender stoles. And at any time, you could submit a prayer request from our website. Our spiritual focus this week is, I remember when my heart was full. And the ushers will receive your card with the offering toward the end of the music. It's time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes on the clipboards and the seat pockets in front of you. And for those of you watching at home, just click on the donate button on our Watch Live page. Unity's co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote, "Pour your living words of faith into the omnipresent substance, and you will be prospered though all the banks in the world close their doors." I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and be aware that God is the source of all your good. Please repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Well, let's bless these little saints with our hearts and share our affirmation together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. All right, and let's take hands and share together our prayer of protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God ever present. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.